By now, you've probably heard my magic wand story. It's a brand that's been part of my personal journey for more than 20 years. But no matter how many times I sing Magic Wand's praises, I'll never be able to fully capture the story of this incredible brand. Well, now journalist and author Kate Sloan just completed a limited audio series documenting the history and impact that Magic Wand has created over the last 56 years. It's called Making Magic. And the series chronicles Magic Wand's incredible brand story through interviews with nearly 40 experts, performers, business owners, educators, and fans. So I got a sneak preview of this series, and what I loved is that Kate weaves together snippets from all their interviews into this amazing story arc. She covers Magic Wand's journey from appliance store massager to its legendary influence on culture and sexual independence, and it's all just fascinating. The first episodes of Making Magic are available now at makingmagicseries.com or on all popular podcast platforms. Just search for Making Magic or visit makingmagicseries.com today. Thanks for listening to Sex with Emily. On today's show, I'm talking about dating tactics, getting your needs met in bed, and consent. Plus, I'm answering your questions. Topics include always annoyed with your partner. It may actually be a good sign in your relationship. How to get through an embarrassing sex moment because, hey, we all have them. And going back to the masturbation drawing board. All this and more. Thanks for listening.
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day.
Hey, Emily, you got a boyfriend? Because my man E here, he just got his heart broken. He thinks you're kind of cute.
A girl's got to have her standards. Oh, my.
Do women know about shrinkage?
Isn't it common knowledge?
What do you mean, like laundry? It shrinks?
Can we not talk about sex so much?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, it feels so good.
Being bad feels pretty good. But you know, Emily's not the kind of girl you just play with.
You're listening to Sex with Emily. We're talking about sex, relationships, and everything in between. For more information, go to sexwithemily.com, and you can follow me on all social media at Sex with Emily. And also sign up for my newsletter because I've been told I give the best email. So check that out. Okay, guys, I'm excited to answer your questions today in the emails, but first, some sex in the news. Okay, there's a wristband that's designed to fight against campus sexual assault. I know sexual assault isn't the sexiest topic, but it's certainly an important one these days, now more than ever. And there's been so much innovation along the lines of consent that I wanted to point out this wristband to you as one of them. An estimated 28% of women on college campuses are sexually assaulted. And according to another study, 70% of those times the assault involves alcohol. College freshmen are the most vulnerable. So enter Buzz. It's a free bracelet with just a $1 a month cloud service. And think of it like a Fitbit, which is wearable. It pairs to your phone to track your state of being. Instead of steps or heart rate, it measures your blood alcohol level through your skin. Now, I think this is still a ways out, but I found it really interesting on a few levels because if you're wearing it, if kids on campus start wearing this bracelet, the Buzz, men, women can wear it, and you run into someone who's wearing it, you just kind of bump bracelets together and it connects you. So how it works is by bumping two Buzzes together at a bar, it lets two people be tracked on a date. So it's kind of a way of like monitoring the two of them together, but also the cool part is it monitors your blood alcohol concentration. So with a vibration and a flash, it will connect you to the person, but also as you enter the blood alcohol point of no return, that threshold where you hit real drunkenness that can maybe lead to a blackout. We've all had those nights. You're like, what happened right before that? Well, I guess this would let you know it's hard to buzz, it's hard to change colors, and it's kind of essentially saying maybe you should have a glass of water right now, right? Or maybe I should slow down. Because the first parts of the brain to be affected by alcohol is our ability to judge our own intoxication level. So the point of the bracelet isn't necessarily to say, hey, you shouldn't be drinking so much, although I think that's a great side effect. Like it kind of tells you like maybe you should slow down there. But, you could get drunk in your dorm room and it doesn't matter. You fall asleep on your own. But really it's more about connecting, pacing yourself and also like literally connecting with someone that you're with. So all your behavior that night is trackable. Another cool thing is that friends aren't the only ones that buzz informs of your intoxication level. Your date gets an alert as well through what they designed to be an aggressive, uncomfortable vibration, Like when Jane crosses the threshold, we flash and buzz the hell out of Johnny's device to say, listen, she's totally drunk and she doesn't have the capacity to give consent to any sexual act. My main concern here was like, are people really going to use this? Like, are they really going to meet at a bar and say, oh, I might have too many drinks and this person's really cute, so let's, smash our wrists together. But I do like that people are thinking of this and that there's technology out there thinking about consent and thinking about sexual assault on campus because it's a serious issue. So if you can make it sexy and wearing a bracelet, I'm all for it. So here's a study, you guys. Uncertainty about potential partners' romantic interest reduces sexual appeal. So what does this mean? According to a study, those who feel greater certainty that their prospective romantic partner reciprocates that interest will put more effort into seeing that person again. But if they're uncertain, they're not going to put as much effort into that relationship. So basically, people experience higher levels of sexual desire when they feel confident about a partner's interest and acceptance. Why I like this study is because it's essentially saying, it's kind of that whole theory that we should play games and pretend we're not into someone at all. Like, oh, they're going to chase me. I'm going to act like I don't care. And I'm telling you, this theory that we should all just pretend we're not interested is still alive and well. I have friends of all ages, men and women, who are like, I'm just going to not act like I'm into it. And that might work on some very base level, but this is a pretty comprehensive study that shows that once we feel that somebody's kind of reciprocating and they're interested in us, we're more likely to trust that person and to maybe move to the next level. We want to be with someone who likes us. So if you're playing games, I think that you're running a risk, and you're that calculated that you're running the risk of actually connecting with someone that you might really like. So I've always said this, that if you're into someone, it's not that you have to like drop everything for them and be totally available and give up your life. It just says, hey, why play games? If you're into someone, let them know. And now we have a study to prove that playing hard to get does not make you more successful in the dating arena. So I think this puts it to rest. And finally, I really like this study. Annoyance is a sign of a good relationship. Thank God, because I do get annoyed. But as this points out, it's a sign of vulnerability, and it's kind of lovable. When you're in a relationship with someone and you're not hating on them, there's not contempt, there's not all that negativity and criticism, but it's more like, oh God, that's so annoying when they do that. Annoying behavior is a sign of being comfortable with each other. So when you first start dating someone, we all, we bring our best selves the first, few months of a relationship, right? We don't do all those things that we would do like a month in, right? Like, I don't know, what do I do? Wear like my sweats or my face mask or the things that we all do that we do once we're comfortable with someone. But in some ways, when you get to know someone better and you can be annoying to them, it shows that you're in a real relationship. Because when we really start to show our authentic self, it automatically makes us more vulnerable. And I think that shows a level of comfort and a healthier relationship overall. And it's also, though, a sign that you're not too comfortable, because think of it this way. When you're still annoyed with someone, like you still care enough that you like, oh my God, that's so annoying. It's better than being detached, where, not even being annoyed or frustrated, bothers you. It just means that you've completely checked out. So if you're feeling a little bit annoyed with your partner, it probably means that you still have really good feelings in general. And remember, the last thing we want to do in a relationship is to stop feeling anything altogether. When you get to that point in a relationship where it's just criticism or contempt, or you're just fighting and it feels really negative and mean-spirited, that's not annoyance. Annoyance is just like, kind of a friendly rolling your eyes, and it's sort of beloved. But the other cool thing about annoyance, and I love how this study put it, is that it also offers opportunities for growth. Sometimes an annoying behavior is just annoying and there's no higher purpose to seek in it. Perhaps your partner is always late to dinner and it doesn't have a deeper meaning, or your partner forgets to get the car washed. That might not be really significant. It's just annoying. But I would like to argue, and so does the study say, that other times, more often than we realize, that annoying behavior does serve a higher purpose and an opportunity for growth. So for example, how do you know what could be improved in a relationship? Well, think about it. Think about what annoys you in your partner. So maybe your partner being late to dinner points towards a deeper issue. Like, she's always late, so therefore she stretches herself too thin. She's not prioritizing herself or the relationship, and she's always late. Like, that's a bigger issue that probably shows up in other parts of her life. Or, maybe your partner forgets to wash their car, and that's a little annoying because they're driving around with the dirty car. That could also mean maybe they're really irresponsible. Like, why are they not caring for these things? He loves his car. Why is his car always dirty? So it's really a place to go deeper in a relationship. So I was thinking about this. I was like, okay, so I could resonate this because I could tell you what annoys my partner about me. And this is very similar. I think it's annoying that I get really stressed out, which I think it used to be cute in our relationship that I was like, oh, I'm too stressed to do this or that. But it really shows that on a deeper level that I'm bringing that into the relationship. And I really do need to make more time for myself. I do stretch myself too thin, and I need to work on being my best self for myself and for my partner. So this is a good test. If you're listening to this now and there's something about your partner that's just annoying, go a little bit deeper and see what that lesson could be for both of you. So I like this. Let me know what you got from this, you guys. I'd love to hear from you if any of these sparked any thoughts or caused you to make some changes in your relationship. I always like to hear what you guys are getting from the show, because when I read your emails, which I'm going to do next, you guys are always so kind and you say how the show's changed your life and it's really helped you. And I want to know specifically, like, what was something that you really got from it? Or, you know, you could just include that in your emails. That's always nice to know because I love being here for you. On to your emails. I love answering your questions. This is my favorite part of the day. It's why I do what I do. So if you want to get a question answered on the show, you can text Ask Emily, all one word, to 797979. Fill out the short form or go to sexwithemily.com and also indicate whether you'd like to be called for a caller show. Always include your age, where you live, and how you listen to this show. Okay, Jamie, producer Jamie, you want to read some of these emails?
Yes, I do.
I love when you read to me.
I know. It's so fun. Okay, so this is from Olivia, who's 25 in Chicago. My husband and I have been married for 3 years. I was a virgin and we had sex for the first time on our wedding night. I can't orgasm with or without him. Everything about our sex is boring, generic, and never satisfying. Oh, this is rough. I've told him what will work for me, which would be him going down on me using a vibrator or just trying something new. However, he does not enjoy going down on me because he simply doesn't want to, finds it gross, etc. And he believes that using a vibrator is pointless because it's not him pleasing me. We're also struggling with him not understanding that sex isn't just penetration and that it can be an opportunity for him to please me or me to please him, and I'm not sure how to proceed. Any tips?
Ooh, Olivia. Okay, I'm really glad you emailed, and there's a lot to unpack here. I can definitely give you tips, but I really did feel like I was reading about DJ Khaled here. Like, I was thinking, is she married to DJ Khaled? I don't know if you guys heard about this, but DJ Khaled came out and said that he just does not believe in oral sex. He takes care of the bills and he takes care of the house, and he doesn't believe that going down on a woman is right for him, and that his wife, though, certainly is going to be going down on him. So it sounds like you understand this, Olivia, that it's just not cool, that he doesn't get all of this, and you want to know, how can you get him there? I'm going to give you some tips now, but I have to say, I feel like your husband, it's going to be really hard with just basic talking to him, because he seems like a man who's very set in his ways. There's a lot of different things going on here. Like, he actually is pulling out all the stops. It's one thing to get a man over the fact that they think oral sex is dirty or gross. It's another thing to get men over that hump of vibrators are wrong. And then it's another thing just for men to realize that foreplay. So, and I'm not going to say this is like impossible, Olivia, but I want to validate you here, and I want you to know that it was really brave of you to email me, and you're not, crazy here. You're not complaining. These are all legitimate concerns, and you're 25 years old, and I know you've been together 3 years, but he's your first guy that you've been with, and it's going to take two of you. It takes two to tango in any relationship, and especially when it comes to sex. He has to understand that foreplay is just a must. Like I always say, it's not a suggestion, it's actually a requirement. Women require foreplay. Men even require foreplay. So, he can't keep doing the same things over and expect it just to magically work one day, that you're going to have an orgasm. The other thing that you can do here is, I think that you should also be, masturbating, because if you've never had an orgasm, this is where I can really relate to you. I used to think when I was your age, maybe a little bit younger, that men would that my boyfriends would just kind of show up and know how to please me, because I never had an orgasm. And I actually remember thinking, God, he's not really good in bed because I didn't have that magical orgasm yet. So you have some work to do. You've been listening to the show. You know that, once you get into your body and your sexual energy, I feel like you won't be able to put up with not having an orgasm anymore. But Jamie, we were reading through this later. I mean, I got kind of like, I want to tell you guys to watch porn together. I want to say do mutual masturbation, because, he watches you and you watches him. But I feel like you haven't gotten there yet, and you haven't gotten to your own orgasm, and he's got these beliefs that are just aren't going to serve him well with a woman.
They're really not. He needs to definitely get over those ideologies. And definitely starting with yourself, Olivia, is just the best thing that you can do. And you know what? He may be your husband, but he doesn't rule your life. If you want a vibrator, buy one for yourself. Right. Get yourself a vibrator and just use it on your own while you masturbate and all that stuff. And then if you're not satisfied with the sex and he's not listening, maybe try taking charge and being like, I'm going to be on top. Right. I'm going to move how I'm going to move. Because he might actually find it really hot.
Well, this is what I want to say, James. That's a really good point. Because here's the other thing I want to say. A lot of time, this sounds like a very fear-based man who would say, I'm threatened by your vibrator. I'm threatened by your orgasms. I'm threatened by your vagina because it's dirty and wrong. I feel like that's something that he either grew up with that mentality. He heard it from his family, his brothers, his friends. And you can believe that and be in your head all you want. But once, you take charge of this, Olivia, and you're you get a vibrator, you learn what turns yourself on, and he's there and he sees you have this orgasm and he sees how important it is to you, he might come around, especially if he believes in the sanctity of your marriage and he loves you, which I'm sure he does, and he wants to make it work. So I think without fear, you need to take ownership and take control of your sexuality. And the other thing I want to say here is, who the hell decided that a vibrator, an orgasm that comes from a vibrator, is inferior to the orgasm that comes from a penis or a finger or a mouth? It's an orgasm is an orgasm is an orgasm. And this whole downgrading orgasms to the clitoral is better than the internal and the finger doesn't mean as much. And I was watching porn. So no, if you have an orgasm, legit, you have that experience, you're connected to your body, I'm cool with it. I just want to start a campaign. I have so many campaigns I want to start.
We really should. We'll make
buttons.
Vibrators. We'll make buttons.
Right. We should make buttons. I'm going to bring the buttons back. People don't wear enough buttons. We don't even open our eyes and look at the people standing next to it. If I was wearing a button, you'd be like, oh. I would say, I already thought of a campaign once. It was going to be no one fake O. When I used to work in politics, I was like, I'm going to put a proposition on the ballot that says women won't fake orgasms anymore. But I feel like orgasm, what would it be? Something about orgasms, like, have you had an orgasm today? Or something just to remind people. Maybe I'd buy billboard space. If I do that, LA. There's those big gonorrhea signs and there's big weed signs everywhere. Why can't we have one that's like, hi, have you orgasmed today? That won't fly here. But I think it's a really good idea. It won't fly,
but that would be...
Start with the buttons.
A great... Also, people might do a double take on the billboard and be like, what? And crash.
Yeah, that's true. Don't do it when you're driving. But okay, so yeah, sweetie Olivia, let us know how this goes. Just know that you're not alone in this. You can reach out, talk to your friends too. So I feel like reaching out to women in your life that you respect, maybe someone who's a little bit older or just a colleague or somebody that you trust, and get their take on it. But I think you got to do you and go buy some toys and get into your own body, because your prince, I always thought someday my prince will come, and so will I. You got to come, and whoever shows up, shows up. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more of your emails.
All right.
And even if you're alone. Okay, next email.
Okay, so this is from David, 33, in Scotland. Hi, Emily. I listen to your show all the time, usually as I drive to work, and I've never thought I'd need to ask a question, but have found myself in need of your help. Recently, I had to be circumcised due to having a tight foreskin and thought it would solve my troubles and get me back to enjoying sex and masturbation. But what I've found is that I'm having to learn to masturbate all over again because the feelings I used to love are now gone because my body has been altered. I've looked online at toys, but I'm really not sure where to start or spend a lot of money on a toy that's just a gimmick. It sounds simple, just as in use lube and masturbate, and I feel kind of dumb for asking, but the feeling I used to get is gone, and trying to adjust is not going well.
Okay. Thank you so much, David, for your question. And gosh, I'm sorry that you're having this challenge right now after your adult circumcision. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't see your penis right now, and I understand that you had to have the surgery. What I'm hearing here, and I just want you to check this, is that... a lot of this might be psychological. as a lot of the challenges we have around sex are psychological, in our heads where we can't orgasm or things are different. And then we take ourselves out of our body. So because you're expecting to have this feeling like of what you had before, exactly the same way. And I feel like you're already like have this negative loop of like, it's not the same, but just like I said, like an orgasm is an orgasm is an orgasm. And I think we should get back to you reconnecting to your body again and kind of just instead of focusing on what was in the past, really employing your senses in the moment. Like, what are you feeling now? Because we can learn to love new sensations, even get turned on by them. So try different movements. I don't think you have to go out and buy a toy right now. I would say use lots of lube, try touching your balls, your frenulum, your, prostate. I would say get to know yourself again using mindful masturbation. So breathing into your senses without the goal of orgasm. I'm a huge fan of second opinions from doctors. So I would love to make sure that that your doctor who did the surgery, I don't know what he said to you. Like, I think it takes about a month or two till after circumcision. It could always take a little bit longer for you to get your sensitivities back. But I would just get checked again and just let him know but I don't know. I don't see your penis here, but I do think a lot of it could be psychological. So get to know your penis again.
All right. This next email is from Allie, 28, in Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I've been seeing a guy for about a month. Everything has been great, and we just had sex for the first time. It had been a while for both of us, and we got really into it, and we're going pretty hard. When we finished, he went to the bathroom to clean up and noticed that he had blood all over him. I had started my period and hadn't noticed. I was mortified and left as soon as I could. I'm not sure how to bring it up or what to say, and I'm worried that he won't be interested anymore. What should I do?
I love this question, Allie, because you know how many women, I know that I've been in this situation.
I've been in it too.
Yeah, we have sex sometimes we don't know that it's that time of month, that Aunt Flo is coming to visit and then she's going to get into a bloody fight against on the bed sheets or what's going to happen. Like there's nothing to worry about here, Allie. I think that you want to be with a partner who's cool with it. And I know sometimes men might get a little like, oh God, there's blood on my penis. Oh my God. But it happens to all of us. So I would just let him know that, make a joke and be like, yeah, there's nothing to apologize for, so don't apologize, but you can just laugh and say, I hope you were able to do the sheets or didn't know that was going to happen. But I think just reach out and say that was a fun night. It's not the kind of thing you have to mention in text because while you're stressing about this. You wrote me an email about it. You're probably thinking this guy's never going to like you again. But really, the more you act like it's just not a big deal because it's not, the sooner we can all move past this. Like I think that's setting a message for yourself and for women and for him, for men to realize that it's not really a big deal. We don't always know when it's happening. I've gotten many of bloody sheets. Things have happened. You look down, you're like, oh my God. And you just deal. You jump in the shower. So I think the fact that you left, maybe like you ran out, you might be feeling like, oh, I got to circle back. I'm not sure how blunt, like if you just ran out mid-sentence, but you could just say, I know I ran out, but I can't wait to see you again soon. What's the next plan? Like just hit him up. Like we said earlier, no playing games here.
Yeah. I mean, and it really, really should not be a big deal. And if it is, then it's only been a month. So you don't really owe anything to this guy
Exactly.
anyways.
I think that's a great thing to know that if it is a deal breaker, he's like, those are my 600 thread count sheets. Or I was really grossed out by that. Guess what else he's going to be grossed out by? Other things that
are not even gross.
That are not even gross. You guys, sex is messy. Sex is beautiful and feels amazing, but it's messy and sticky and dirty and beautiful. So that's what sex is, you guys. It's not perfect and pristine and clean at all. So everyone get used to that. Little blood never hurt anybody.
So true.
So true.
So true.
Okay.
All right. This next one is from David, 28, also from Wisconsin.
Ooh.
My other half and I would like to try out a glass dildo for the first time for both of us, but she's afraid that it will break. What are some good brands to use, or what can I do to help set her mind at ease?
Okay, well, this is a good question, and I feel like I don't give dildos enough love on the show. I'm always talking about vibrators, but they can be really powerful for women to explore, find the G-spot, for men to explore their P-spot. So I love a good dildo question. So the chance of a glass dildo breaking in you is very, very slim. I'm not sure if you've ever seen one. Maybe you're thinking it's like a light bulb or something. Like it's like very thin. It's going to break. But I mean, it would take a lot to break a dildo. In fact, glass dildos are so sturdy that they're not going to break. But if you want, glass dildos are very, very sturdy. I mean, you could actually I mean, you could pack a punch with them. But if you're going to experiment with temperature play and warm it up, warm it with hot water. You don't want to use the microwave. Or if it goes from really hot to really cold, which is the great thing about glass dildos because you can do temperature play, that's when it could break if it was like really hot and then really cold. But I mean, I think that would also be like a very rare occurrence where one of these bad boys is going to break. And what I like is I like Pipe Dream icicles. Those are really popular dildos.
They're
glass
so
dildos.
pretty.
Yeah,
too, by
Jamie,
the way.
I didn't know that Jamie wanted one. I'm going to get you one.
Yeah, no, I've been always wanting to experiment with a glass dildo. And that's the thing. If you have never seen one, I could totally get why you might be like, okay, like this could
Or
break.
held one.
Or
You've
held
just
one,
seen
but
it and
it's
not
like
held it.
literally like super thick. Like
Right.
it's like, just think about like, you know how hard it is to really break? Like, it's like, like a girt, like think about if your penis was made of glass, but like not hollow, like completely just
Like it's
all
heavy.
it's heavy. Like it's like you could do, you could do arm curls with it.
Right. You could literally do arm curls with it. So they're not going to break. And the other dildo I like is Pure Enjoy. It's a steel wand, but it has the same kind of sentiment as a dildo. And you use some lube, you play, you can hit other hot spots. I think it's great for women who are looking for their G-spot. That was a big player in my search for my G-spot many years ago. So go out and play with some dildos.
Okay, so this next one is from Josephine, 20, in Alberta. Hi, Emily. I've been with my 21-year-old boyfriend for just over a year, and I'm very happy with him. He rarely ever comes on to me. When we have sex, it is almost exclusively because I showed interest or came on to him, and have spoken to him about this, and he says he doesn't like being forceful or aggressive towards women because his sister was abused when he was younger, and he hates anyone being sexually aggressive towards women. I like this about him, and he doesn't like to be grabby and be aggressive, especially in public. However, when it's just the two of us, I wish he could be more comfortable just having sex with me when he wants to, rather than waiting to see if I want to. I don't know how to bring this up or force him to be okay being more open to coming on to me. Thanks, Emily. Love your podcast.
Okay, Josephine, thanks for the question. It sounds like you have a really great guy here, a lot of respect for women. He paid attention to what was going on growing up with his sister. But remember, you guys are both still kind of figuring out this sex thing and this how to relate and how to turn each other on and how to get aroused and how to initiate sex. So it's probably pretty new for both of you. And so you really have to show them what you mean by aggressive or assertive. And you can remind them that it's really not about disrespecting you, that there is a difference between being aggressive and initiating sex, that he doesn't necessarily have to be aggressive to show that he's into you. So I think, though, what your job here is to let him know that, and sweetly, like I said, don't do it like, I can't believe that you won't do this, but it's more like you really might have to break it down and say, I would just love it if when I walk in the door, you start to make out with me, or when we're sitting on the couch, you put your hand on my lap, or you start to rub my back, or you start to play with my hair. You get to decide what that looks like, and you also get to change your mind. So maybe you just give him one example, because I think we often toss things out to our partners like make a move, or be more aggressive, or tie me up, or let's do BDSM, or let's have a threesome. And we literally, the range of things, and we expect our partner to get it, to understand, and then to act upon it. But think about it, you guys. I spend so much time just getting you guys to talk about sex and to understand your own bodies that when you throw something new sexually at your partner, they just might not get it. Even though we think it's clear what initiating sex means, it's literally different to everybody. If I asked Jamie how she would like sex initiated, how would you like your partner to initiate sex, Jamie? We've never talked about this. Like, what would be really hot to you? If I was your partner and you were like, you don't initiate, what would you want me to do? What would be a big turn on for you?
So I actually do like an aggressive initiation.
Okay, good.
Just because I just feel like I have such a charge, or I take charge a lot in the rest of my life. So in the bedroom, I'm like, no.
Like, let's chill.
Yeah. So I would really like it, if
I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
Right.
I would just really like it if, like you said, as soon as I walk in the door, my partner sees me, just looks like he wants to have me, like right then and there, and he comes up to me and he's like deep kisses me like really hard, and then just like either throws me down on the nearest furniture thing or on the bed if we're in the bedroom, or whisks me away to the bedroom and just like throws me down and is just like in charge. Like, I'm going to take you
Devour
right now.
you, right?
Like literally. And he
that's
could
hot.
say that too. I'm just going to destroy you sexually right now.
Yeah, that's hot, right? And that doesn't mean, okay, so going back to the question here, like that might not be what Josephine would say because aggressive, he says, his sister was sexually abused. And so I understand that. But for you, Jamie, I think that is hot too every once in a while. And let's explain what throw me down. Like, because I think I get it, but people here throw me down to like, is that could be painful? What if he hurt you? How would you show him?
I guess I would just kind of like do it to him first.
Oh, push him
to show him. Like if you really wanted to show him, be like, look, this is what I would want, and you just like
push him.
You're facing each other. The bed is behind you, and you just throw them down, and then you look at them like you're just gonna like eat them.
Right.
And just get on top and just start.
Hot. See, I could even see you doing that, being like, okay, you're not doing it, let me show you. And then you literally throw them down, and you're like, now do me. Like that to me would be hot in that moment. He's like, okay, now I'm going to throw you down. You could easily, you're not going to be like, well, right now it's just the tutorial. I want you to do that 2 hours from now. No, in the moment, he could be like to me, that is a hot role play thing. You're like, here's what you do. And then he would do it to you, and you'd be off to the races.
Yeah, that would be great. But also, if, for example, if Josephine wanted something, not quite as aggressive.
So let me tell you what I would like.
Yeah, what would you
like? That every once in a while. So I would like that. So let me see if more like Josephine, if I would want my partner to initiate, I love the kiss. Like I do not know why kissing is something I have to remind everyone in long-term relationships to do, or just in general. I think that it's really hot because it's a point of intimacy. You're connecting. It's a warm up. You're touching each other. You're smelling each other. Like your senses are so engaged. So I just love a deep kiss. Like if my guy just came in and he just like, honestly just started like, I like a little softer, so like a soft kiss, or he started kissing my neck. Like if you kiss my neck, that meme we posted once, like if you kiss my neck, I'm not responsible for what happens next. Like that is so true for me. Like there are so many nerve endings in our neck and like our everywhere, our chest, our ears. So to me, like nibble on my ear, kiss my neck for a few seconds. Like I'm not even talking like a marathon session, but just a few little nibbles, a few kisses. That would be great initiation for me personally. But if I was with someone he wasn't, I'd say, like, just come in and let's start making out. So those are some, and I would feel comfortable telling him that.
Yeah. And you can even be super direct. Like, just be like, hey, babe, like, I'm just so turned on right now. Like, how can I get you turned on? That could be hot too.
Yeah.
And like
just
that
say,
way,
what
it's like,
would
it's
turn
not
you
even
on right now.
Right. That's like verbally being like, I'm in the mood. I want to get you in the mood. Let's do it. Instead of him always waiting for her. Because, I mean, I get it. He's trying to be respectful, but...
Right. Okay, that's a good one. Josephine, when he comes home from work the next time or school or wherever you guys are at, you say you want to know what would really turn me on right now. That's a great way to do it. He's like, well, let me make a sandwich first. Or, no, I'm not. I want to know. Like, we don't want to know. I think that's a great way to do it. And also, you guys, this also works. Just remember that this works the other way, too. So if you have a partner who you feel like is initiating all the time, but not in the way that you want. So for example, I hear this from a lot of couples. And I know this happens that we get into a routine, right? They're like, I hear from couples who say, like one partner will say, I wish that my partner would just make out with me or just put their hand on my lap or, put their arm around me and not have it lead towards sex. So then, because what happens is we start to resist our partners because we're like, oh God, every time my partner touches me, it means they want to get naked. So therefore, I'm not going to be responsive to touch anymore. And that can kind of be a tricky cycle that couples get into where they start avoiding intimacy because one person doesn't want it and the other person only touches when it's for sex. So I think this is a great conversation to have, even if you don't recognize this as a challenge in your relationship. Why not have the initiation be what you do want? And so everyone could just kind of think about this and go, what would be my ideal turn on? And even if it's just the next time you have sex, turn to your partner right now and say, you know what? Next time we have sex, I think it would be so hot. Or if you do blank. So why not? Start it today. Everyone should have better sex tonight. Including us. I think I'm going to. I already got some ideas from this. I'm going to have my guy throw me down on the bed.
Do it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems so obvious, but I don't know that that's happened lately. It happened like once.
right? Like, and then you think back to that time and you're like, oh my God. And then like, yeah, and this is the thing. It's like variety, not every time.
If he threw me down every time, I'd be like, oh God, Whiplash, really again? Jesus, can we just finish watching Netflix? Like anything gets boring after a while. So get some up the initiation, like different ways to do it. Talking dirty, sending a sexy text, getting naked, random acts of oral. That's a good idea.
Random acts of oral, I love
That's going to be the billboard.
that.
Do you think that's a t-shirt?
That's
Billboard?
That is a t-shirt.
Random acts of oral.
Random acts.
It could be verbal, obviously, but people know what we mean.
And
Who
also,
doesn't want a random act of oral?
Yeah.
Who's like, no thanks, I vote no.
yeah.
We'd be
And
so much
I mean,
happier.
obviously, just to clarify,
Not with consent.
with consent.
Yes.
For all those people out there that are like,
Oh, no, I don't
you
mean
should
go to a
not go. You
stranger.
should not. Yeah, you should not go around and just randomly give oral to.
No, please don't. Yeah, I see. This could go wrong very quickly. But I mean, in your relationship, I don't think that if you have a partner who's into oral, that they would ever argue that like a random didn't see it coming, that blowjob before 8 a.m. or whatever, that oral. Okay.
Okay.
So on that note,
last email from Michaela, 23 in Georgia. My boyfriend of 3 years is very honest. He doesn't like to keep anything from me or he feels it's lying. He likes to play, who would you rather have sex with me? And he also likes to point out hot girls to me or talk about how a girl is hot to his friends in front of me. Even on a vacation, he said I was more lucky because I had more hot guys to look at than he had hot girls to look at. I know that everyone thinks these things, but is it unfair of me to ask him to at least keep it to himself, or am I taking too much crap? I have brought it up to him before how I don't love it that much, and he replies, do you want me to lie? This is an interesting question.
It's an interesting question because, okay, I'm reading this again and I feel like, first of all, the one thing I want to point is I don't know that everyone thinks it. So you're making an assumption here, Michaela, that you think every guy is just sitting there going, or every girl is going, oh man, that person's hot, but I'm going to not avert my eyes, or I'm not going to look at them. I'm going to pretend it doesn't happen. Yes, we all notice someone hot, but I'm telling you, not every guy or every woman is that focused on what else is going on around them when they're in a relationship with their partner. Yeah, you might notice someone, but it's not like you feel the need to share that. So I don't think that this is particularly like everyone does this kind of thing. So it definitely exists on the planet for sure. So I think you absolutely have to let him know. I don't even think it's about taking too much crap, but I think it's for you, it's too much crap, right? For you, it doesn't feel right. And this doesn't feel right to me either. Like if I was with a guy and we're on this vacation together, right? I mean, two favorite words, vacation, sex. Vacation's about sex and intimacy and enhancing your relationship. If I had a guy who's like, look at that chick. I mean, come on. We're all just like 2 steps from being insecure about things in relationships often, right? Like, let's just, I get insecure. We all do. So if I had a guy who's constantly going like, oh, why didn't you wear a bikini today? Or, oh God, look at her legs, right? I'm 5'2" and he's talking looking at some like 6 foot tall woman, that just could be really disconcerting, and it goes both ways. So I think you're totally fine to say to him, I know you're thinking it, but I'd much rather hear what you see when you look at me. Or actually, babe, no, I'm not sitting here looking at other guys. I'm just looking at you and thinking how lucky I am that I get to have sex with you, because you're the only guy on the beach, or you're the most attractive, or whatever. It doesn't sound cheesy to you, but I think the reason why he's doing it, though, I also don't think he's a bad guy, right? I think that this is just maybe how he grew up. His friends are like this. His buddies are like that. Maybe his previous girlfriends were cool with it. But that doesn't mean that you need to be okay with it. He doesn't have to share it with you. Now, he might find this to be a turn on, right? So saying like, would you rather have sex with me, this one or that one? Like I could see like in a celebrity game being like, who's your celebrity crush? But to constantly be like that person or that person in real life is, number one, exhausting. And number two doesn't feel very safe. Women report the highest level of sexual satisfaction when we feel safe and we feel like we can trust someone. So if our partner's constantly like spreading all this love or spreading all this like interest in all these other people, I would not feel safe. And I would not feel like I was not safe if they're going to hurt me, but like safe in our love and our commitment. So there could be a lot of reasons why he's doing this, and maybe he could find another way to scratch that itch rather than point out all the other hot girls around you.
Yeah. I mean, I think once in a while it's totally fine. Like, oh, because like, I mean, I do that all the time. Like I'm like, oh my God, like that woman is so gorgeous. Or
right.
Like, oh my God, that guy is like really attractive. Or if I'm talking about like, celebrities, obviously, because we all have celebrity crushes.
Right.
But all the time I'd be like, do you ever look at me?
Right. Yeah. I'd be like, hello, like waving my arms. And I think this is something that, yeah, sure, guys probably, I'm sure men and women do it when they're alone with their friends. But I think that in the past, when this has happened in relationships, I've actually had guys say to me, do you mind, or like, how do you feel about me pointing out other women? Like, would you think that was hot? And I was like, every once in a while would be kind of fun, to say that. So but I'm really glad they asked, that these people, they asked me. And I think in the past, I do remember being with those guys who just their head, like their neck turns every time you're walking down the street because they're looking at someone else or they're saying things. And I think I let them know that I didn't need to hear it. It didn't feel great to me. And I'm totally cool with them having those thoughts, but there's so many other things to talk about.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm glad that he's like super open and honest, but at the same time too, it's like, it's not lying. Like, I don't need to know like what your mind is thinking at every second, because if he's thinking that it's lying to you by not saying like, oh, that girl is really hot, is he also lying to you when the moment he thinks, I really need to go to the bathroom right now, but he doesn't disclose it? Like, that's how I'm thinking. It's like, not every thought you have that you don't tell is a lie.
Exactly. Because it does seem like it's a little bit intense, that he's doing it all the time. So I'm wondering what he needs from this game. Like, I'm wondering what he's getting from it. Like, if he knows that it's going to kind of get an interest. Like, if he knows, Michaela, that it's going to kind of spark this incense in you that you're going to say something, or does he think it's hot, or maybe he thinks it'd be hot if you guys had a threesome or watched porn together with another woman. Like, I'm not sure what else this means. So,
yeah,
is it ego?
Yeah, I think she should maybe also tell him, I don't really like it. Keep it a little bit more sparingly. Do it with your friends, whatever. But also maybe be like, so do you have like some fantasies that you want to get off your chest, that you want to talk about? Like, there's something that you can kind of understand it better.
Right.
Seeing where he's coming from with this, instead of him just being like, well, I don't want to lie. But it's like,
right.
but why do you feel the need? It's not a lie.
Like, you're not walking in between. There's a bird, there's a tree. Like, if you don't say there's a bird, there's a tree, there's still a bird, there's still a tree, there's still the ocean. Is that a lie because you didn't point it out?
It is now. The ocean is now a lie.
Exactly. It's all a lie. So, okay, Michaela, you got this. Take care of this. And all you guys are asking, is it okay? Is it okay? Yes. If you feel it and something's hurting you and you're feeling like it's making you, feel bad about yourself or not trusting in your partner, whatever it is, then guess what, you guys? It's legit. I'm here to tell you that your feelings are real. What you're feeling in the moment is okay, and it's cool to share it with a loving, open partner. All right. Thanks, Michaela. Thanks, Jamie. Mm-hmm. This was fun. Okay, you guys, I love you all. Thank you so much for supporting the show and supporting our awesome sponsors. God, just keep staying in touch with us. And thanks for listening. And thanks to my amazing team, Ken, volunteer Sarah, producer Jamie, and Michael. Was it good for you? Email me, feedback@sexwithemily.com.